Hey guys, Python Crash Course, Lesson 23, Classes Part 4. Last time, we added a pseudo-overloaded method to class point using a reserved word, which is a little sketchy, but we did it. So this time, I've got a few more to go, and then I'll be done with Python, but let's write a player class. And in this video, we're going to leverage our kwargs knowledge, and I'm going to show you how to write comments for Python class and Python methods, and show you some cool stuff that Python does for you. So if we want a class player, we need, of course, to have a constructor that gets past self. And what is our player made up of? Well, we know we've used these values in the past, and we're just going to run with it and keep going with it. So the question we want to ask ourselves is, do I pass in the file path to this information? Do I pass in just each data value in there? I mean, do we want to do something like fname, lname, rank, Nah, we don't. So that's why kwargs are awesome, because we can basically pass an entire dictionary in to this player and have it set itself up. Now, granted, I will agree that this is not self-documenting. This is, convoluted at best about what's going on. But still, the convenience just outweighs it. And what this does, you pass in your dictionary, and if you don't have any of the values at all, it sets them all up with just empty values. And in fact, down here for player boosts, or the available boosts, we were storing them in an array or a list. Yeah, it'll initialize that to an empty list. So if you had methods later, like down here, let's write one. Define add boost so we're going to say that we'll assume that, in fact, let's get some comments for this one. And then we can say that boost is a list, and it is a list of player boosts to add to a player's character, or whatever. We can even say this returns basically none. Wait, this should be dashes. Anyway, this is called a docstring. There's a bunch of different styles that people use, and so here we can look at this, and we can test to make sure that it is a list. So we can say if not type of boost is list, we can throw an error. But error checking is for the real world, and we're in academia. So I'm just going to say self.availableBoosts.extend boosts, right? Because we're taking whatever list they pass in, and we want to extend our available. We don't want to add that by itself on as an element, remember, because it'll go directly in and be its own little array. Let's call that boosts. All right. So we're leveraging kwargs. We know about printing out docstrings, or printing out instances of the class with the string method. What don't we know about? Well, let's add a little. I'm going fast. I'm just cutting and pasting now. What about updating a player? So the cool thing here is Yeah, we're still using kwargs. And if I want to update a player, down here I could say like P is equal to a player. And then we have, well, maybe we should just get some data. So we have our data class that we already wrote. So we're going to say player1 data is equal to data dot and what do we want to read JSON, right? And we need to pass it. What do we need to pass it? We need to pass it a path. So we're going to say os dot path dot join the data folder and the file name. And what this will do is, not spelled right, we already wrote it, so it goes out, gets player1 data. If that makes it a JSON object, so player1 data, let's not call it data, let's call it player1 dictionary, because that's what it is. And so when we declare an instance of player1, we'll pass in that dictionary, and now we have player1, which will come in here and construct the player. If we print it out, it'll print it out in a nice formatted method. Let's do that. Print P1. I mean, I hope it will. So player1 dictionary, what? On 119. You know, I always make mistakes, and I wish I would just do them on purpose to teach everybody a lesson, but I didn't do it on purpose. But I know what I did. This is saying takes one positional arguments, but what? Two were given? So positional arguments. So self is one of them. Well, let's go to the constructor. And then kwargs is, but it's not a positional argument. Remember, kwargs expects you to do something like this, like p2 dot, or let's construct it. So p2 is equal to a player, and then we could say fname is equal to Bob, lname is equal to Smith. And so these are keyword arguments, but this, since it's a dictionary, but this is the format that Python wants it in. So you know what we have to do? Boom. We take our dictionary that we read in, and now we need to dereference it and turn it in. Basically, this is turning this dictionary into this. So let's try that again. Yeah. So we print out, that's using the string method up here. When we print it out, whatever we read in, this is how we decided to print it out. If I change this path to player1 data, yeah, we got the whole Sasha Ivanov thing going on. If I want to print out P2, yeah, it's a lot of empty stuff because I only put in Bob and Smith. But it's robust, right? It's like overloading a method almost. The problem is it's not very self-documenting. But here's the cool thing about Python and docstrings. Try this one in C++. Help P1. It's literally printing out your docstrings for that class. Is that cool or what? So, yeah, that's it for this video. Just a couple more and I'll be done, and we'll get to the gaming stuff. All right, we'll see ya in a minute.